As I mentioned, I saw you doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
And I trained a lot. And
You did? I always forget that you did.
Yeah, and I would see things and I was like, oh my God, she's good at this. Like I would see little transitions.
Who would have thought?
How aggressive you are when you're at tournaments.
Rage.
Because that's
female rage.
Aggressiveness in that situation is not something you can really teach. It's
No.
something that you adapt to. And like that often is a benefit in wrestling training. How has that helped you with wrestling training?
It's helped me so much, and I don't think people understand how much Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu can help you inside the ring. Because a lot of people are like, well, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you're actually meant to hurt somebody, and then pro wrestling, I'm not going to say the F word, but y'all know what I mean. But I think it helped with me being so fluid inside the ring. And I think like what's so awesome is that I'm able to take what I do on the mat and do it inside the ring. So for those who don't know, my finisher is an armbar, and the armbar is like a move that I've done for such a long time in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I think it's really awesome that like I was able to, even though people said like, oh, you shouldn't be in pro wrestling, we don't want you here. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to make my own little box, and it's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And guess what? I'm back in pro wrestling with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
The thing I love about that move is if you have an uncooperative opponent, tough. You can do your finish. You know,
that's what I'm always so scared about. I'm like, okay, listen, like because when I was, practicing my armbar, I was figuring out what I wanted my finisher to be. For those who don't know, it's a backstabber, and then I transitioned to the armbar, which I was practicing on my dad for the longest time. When I was doing the armbar, I was always scared that I would actually hurt somebody. So like I asked my jiu-jitsu coach, I was like, hey, do you know how to do a bad armbar? And he was like, I haven't. My coach is a black belt, obviously. Shout out to Coach Ricky. And he was like, listen, I haven't done that in like 10 years, and like since when I first started. And so like I kind of had to figure it out. So it's hard sometimes when I actually go to jiu-jitsu training, I have to do the right armbar, and then in pro wrestling I got to do the bad armbar. But it still works. People be tapping out.